the faculty and board of trustees of Eden Theological Seminary are regularly inspired by the ministries and leadership of Eden Seminary alumni as they embody the vision, mission, and values of the school. This year, Eden is delighted to spotlight the ministry, scholarship, and leadership of the Reverend Muriel L. Johnson and to confer upon her the honorary degree, Doctor of Divinity. The Reverend Muriel Johnson is a native of Biloxi, Mississippi, where her father served in the Air Force. Reverend Johnson later relocated with her parents, Mary and Bobby, to Brooklyn, New York. She grew up in the Brownsville-Tilden projects, a community that shaped her determination and dreams. The combination of her Southern roots and her growing up in public housing shaped and still inform her worldview. Reverend Johnson began her college matriculation at the University of Wisconsin and later transferred to Harris Stowe State College in St. Louis, where she earned a Bachelor of Science degree in urban education. After accepting her call into the ministry almost 40 years ago, Reverend Johnson earned her Master of Divinity degree from Eden Theological Seminary. With the Wisconsin Department of Health and Social Services, Reverend Johnson held several positions aiding families with dependent children, including Native American tribal communities. Most of her early work life focused on program strategies designed to develop leadership skills for youth, adults, creating programs to keep in-risk youth in school and out of prison, preventing teenage pregnancy, and promoting grassroots community organizing. She is an ordained American Baptist minister. She accepted her call into ministry and was the first woman licensed by Mount Zion Baptist Church in Madison. She has served congregations in Wisconsin and Missouri in various pastoral positions. From congregational ministry, Reverend Johnson was called to the regional ministry and served as the Executive Regional Associate Minister for the American Baptist Churches of the Great Rivers region for 20 years. She was the first African American ministry leader called to this position. While there, her preaching and teaching gifts, her deep understanding of church structures, culture, outreach, and hospitality are hallmarks of her ministry. Reverend Johnson is blessed with an adult daughter, Aisha, a godson, Corvan, as well as a newly minted 18-year-old grandson, Maurice Jamal. She currently resides in Suffolk, Virginia. In her spare time, she is the Chief Executive Officer of Bishops, Inc., LLC, a clergy congregation and community consultation firm that she established based on her God-given gifts, academic preparation, and years of professional experience. It is with great thanksgiving for her pastoral legacy, mentorship, and service to the community and church that the faculty and board of trustees of Eden Theological Seminary is delighted to recommend the Reverend Muriel L. Johnson for the conferral of the degree, Doctor of Divinity, and all the rights and privileges thereof.
The faculty and board of trustees of Eden Theological Seminary are so pleased to recognize this evening a person who has contributed immeasurably to the education and formation of our students and to the life and mission of this school for over 30 years. To borrow a phrase from the Tanakh, the Nevi'im, to be more precise, the prophets, Rabbi Howard G. Kaplansky is a man after God's own heart. That is to say, a servant. After receiving a BA degree from The Ohio State University, he was ordained rabbi at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, where he earned a Master of Arts in Hebrew Letters and where he was later awarded a DD. Rabbi Kaplansky served local congregations in Springfield, Massachusetts and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, before coming to St. Louis, where he served United Hebrew Congregation for over 30 years. Including as senior rabbi from 1990 to 2011, at which time he became Rabbi Emeritus of the congregation. But the focus of Rabbi Kaplansky's time and energy has been much wider than local congregations. He has served as director of the Midwest Council of American Hebrew Congregations, now known as the Union for Reform Judaism. He has served as president of the St. Louis Jewish Community Relations Council, the St. Louis Rabbinical Association, the Association of Reform Rabbis, and the American Jewish Committee St. Louis region. He has served on numerous boards of trustees, including the Jewish Federation of St. Louis, Jewish Family and Children's Service, St. Louis Jewish Light, the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis Care and Counseling, and the Interfaith Partnership of St. Louis. He has served as Vice President of the St. Louis Interfaith Clergy Council and of Doorways St. Louis, as well as the first chairperson of the Michael and Barbara Newmark Institute on Human Relations. And as suggested a few moments ago, Rabbi Kaplansky has served Eden Theological Seminary for over 30 years as an adjunct professor in Judaic studies and theology. By way of his teaching and his example, Rabbi Kaplansky has given our students a deeper understanding of Judaism. He has prepared them to think and work interfaithfully in their future ministries, and he has inspired them to pursue the mishpat, tzedek, and shalom, the justice, righteousness, and peace, or comprehensive well-being, as I prefer to translate shalom, the peace that God wills for humankind and for the whole creation. With deep appreciation and abundant thanksgiving for his service to local congregations, his service to Judaism in St. Louis and beyond, his service to the interfaith community of St. Louis and to the entire St. Louis region and community, and for his service to Eden Theological Seminary. The faculty of Eden Theological Seminary is delighted to recommend Rabbi Howard G. Kaplansky for the conferral of the degree, Doctor of Divinity.
The faculty and board of trustees of Eden Theological Seminary encourage bold Christian discipleship as integral to the mission of the school and the life of the church. Tonight, we honor Mrs. Norma Clemmy for such discipleship. Norma is a layperson with a passion for the church's role in social transformation. She is married to the Reverend Armin Clemmy, Eden class of 1950 and third generation of Eden alumni. Norma and Armin are blessed by 4 children, 4 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Norma is a leader in the church and community. She grew up in St. Joseph, Missouri, and taught school for 18 years, serving alongside Reverend Armin in churches in Sedalia, Herman, and Jefferson City. Norma and Armin then settled in Union, Missouri, where she continued for 20 years as a substitute teacher in the public schools and to serve actively in her congregation of Zion United Church of Christ. Norma currently provides leadership for Zion UCC's Green Team for environmental justice. Norma is a connector in the community. She has decades of experience in seeing a need, recognizing organizations in that space, and connecting those organizations to act. Norma has been active through the years in the Missouri Mid-South Conference of the United Church of Christ. She has taught by example how to organize community church partnerships. Organizations including food pantries in Franklin County and Habitat for Humanity have benefited for decades from her vision and leadership. Norma is an influencer. She is well-respected, compassionate, and encouraging. People listen to Norma. They get involved. From recycling and gardening to the Festival of Sharing Board and crop hunger walks for food security, her family, friends, and church have been instrumental in everything she attempts. In 2012, Norma decided to celebrate 80 years of blessings by walking 80 miles, 1 mile a day. With the generosity of friends throughout the Missouri Mid-South Conference, she raised significant funds for the Crop Walk of Church World Service, Emmaus Homes, Habitat for Humanity, and the UCC's Our Church's Wider Mission. A decade later, to celebrate 90 years, Norma again walked and organized her networks, encouraging generous donations to the Crop Walk, Hope Ranch, the UCC's Our Church's Wider Mission, and Eden Theological Seminary. Norma gives thanks for people she has been blessed to know and who have mentored her. She is guided by the words of her confirmation verse, Colossians 3:17. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. I am pleased to announce that the faculty of Eden Theological Seminary enthusiastically recommends Norma Clemmy for the conferral of the degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
In the early decades of the 20th century, a church leader in the emerging ecumenical movement of the German evangelical and reformed traditions, Samuel D. Press, was gathering resources to strengthen the mission of Eden Seminary as it adapted to the quickly shifting landscape of the church, as well as the institutional demands of North American higher education. As the president of Eden from 1919 to 1941, Press would establish the school on its third campus, this time in Webster Groves, and engage other ecumenical leaders on the topic of church unity, a topic that would ultimately give rise to the United Church of Christ. The building in which many of us are physically assembled tonight is named Press Hall in his honor. Samuel Press set a high standard at Eden Seminary for both relying upon God's provision and moving with purpose and vision in order to be faithful and responsive to the movement of the Holy Spirit and to live out a vision of unity within the peace and justice of Jesus Christ. Only occasionally, as the fruit of Samuel Press's legacy and love for this school and its mission is particularly evident, the faculty and trustees of Eden Seminary act to confer the Samuel D. Press Service Award to persons who powerfully embody the values and ethos of Dr. Press's vocation. Tonight, I am honored to share the citation for the conferral of the Samuel D. Press Service Award to the Reverend Dr. Veronica Jean Richardson. It saddens the entire Eden community to confer this award posthumously, but we do so with thanksgiving, not only for Pastor V's life and ministry, but also with celebration that many of her family and friends are here to receive the award on her behalf. Her spirit is truly with us in this place. The Reverend Dr. Veronica Richardson was a beloved member of the Eden graduating class of 2013. While pursuing her MDiv at Eden, Veronica brought her vibrant and multi-vocational gifts for ministry to this community. She broke open the resources of her healthcare profession, anchored by a BSN and RN, with certification as a healthcare educator, and merged them with her Christian faith and her theological education, both an MDiv and DMin, to create a platform for ministry that was rooted in community and moving toward healing and wholeness for all God's people. With passion and purpose, the Reverend Dr. Richardson, also known affectionately as Pastor V, Ronnie, Sissy, T, and beloved Aunt Bud, shared her gifts with the Eden community. Following her graduation, Veronica maintained networks of connection through the Eden Black Alumni Association, the Eden faculty and staff, and the vast numbers of churches and friends with whom she shared fellowship and love. In those networks, without seeking attention or fanfare, she listened for where the needs were. Hearing that some students faced challenges, she quietly secured healthcare resources for over a decade of Eden students in her relationship with Affinia Healthcare, ensuring access to affordable and often free medical care for any Eden students who needed it. She offered her pastoral vision and expertise as the director of the Baptist House of Studies at Eden, offering support and encouragement to students navigating their calls to ministry. She offered her wisdom on church leadership in collaboration with Eden faculty to support Eden students in their vocational discernment. As if this record were not enough, Veronica, during the challenging days of the pandemic, reached out to the seminary as vaccines were first being made available and secured access to vaccines for the entire Eden faculty and staff. In this regard, she once again supported the seminary in its mission, moving in humility and faith to extend the resources from her networks in order to support the health and wholeness of God's people. With her gifts of network resources and caring attention, Veronica Richardson put the faculty and staff of the seminary on a safe footing from which to pursue the seminary's mission during this most dangerous global pandemic. For this legacy of service and care, by action of the Eden Seminary faculty and trustees, be it known that the Reverend Dr. Veronica Jean Richardson is a recipient of the Samuel D. Press Award for Service to Eden Theological Seminary. We share this award in the hearing of the assembled Eden community at this, our 173rd commencement services, with thanksgiving for her life and ministry, and in celebration of her transforming care and compassion shared in this community of learning and faith, for the well-being of the faculty, staff, and students, and to the glory of God.